Hey guys, how y'all doing? So I want to do something a little bit different. We haven't done this on the channel yet, but I think it's something we're going to start doing a little bit more is doing some book reviews. Now, there's a few books that I've read that are really enjoyable, but I think the one that got me to want to do these book reviews is this book right here called Through the Eyes of Jesus. And it's written by Ames. It's a trilogy. And let me tell you a little bit about Ames first of all. He was born in England, and he was actually in motorcycle gangs. He was into alcohol, and then they ended up moving to Australia. And he had a revelation, and he had, I guess, he heard and he saw a woman talking to him, telling him about Jesus and the things that he went through. And then Jesus himself came to him and started talking to him about the Catholic religion. And then Jesus told him to write these things down. And so he started writing these things down. So he produced a book. Now, what he was able to do was to almost like sometimes see like a film in front of him, seeing all the things that he went through, that Jesus went through. Sometimes he would see through the eyes of Jesus and know what's going on. He also witnessed and was able to learn a lot more from the apostles that followed him, and from all those stories, he wrote these down, put them out as a story, as a book, and it's actually an amazing book. It starts as Jesus and his apostles are walking and going through all the different towns and doing all these different miracles. If you open your mind, open your heart to this, each story is so revealing, and it kind of puts you there. That's what is amazing. These stories, each little story is something that can teach you something. So if you really read this with an open mind, an open heart, you start learning a whole lot about this. And it takes you through these towns with Jesus and the apostles. You learn about them, you see how human the apostles were, and the revelations and the things that Jesus knew. And he was showing this to not only Alan Ames here, but to the apostles as he was talking to them and going through all these different places. Sometimes the apostles didn't totally understand Jesus, and you can see that, and you can see the humanity in some of the apostles as some of the arguments that they had and some of the things that Jesus shows Alan that they went through. It's amazing because this walks through all the way to the point where, you know, it gets to the point where they're going to go into Jerusalem and go through the crucifixion. And if you just look at this and you read this book, it's such a nice book because it has a possibility of changing your life also when you read this and you start understanding what happened and what was going on back then. So for those that believe in Christ, it really solidifies what you believe in. For those that don't believe, may make a difference in your life. But even if you don't believe or anything, this book can really change your life because it teaches you so many lessons with each story that goes on. It's amazing. Seeing the things, the way they're written are amazing. Now, my wife has read some of the other books that Ames wrote, and they don't compare it to this because these are not his words. These are Jesus's words. These are things that Jesus showed to Alan, and it's written through him. And it's just amazing how you almost feel like you're there going through all of these things that they went through. So for that, I think, how many pages is this book? It is 429 pages, and it's pretty, you can go through it very fast if you want to. Even if you're not a fast reader or anything, you'll probably go through it pretty fast. But you can really think about the stories, and at times it makes you realize, okay, I can do this better, I can do that better, and kind of changes your life a little bit. So, Through the Eyes of Jesus is a real good book. I would recommend this to anybody. In fact, I may get a few copies and hand them out to some people because I think it's that important to read. Guys, thank you very much. I'll be going over a different book later this week, and I believe it's going to be Haunting of Hill House. All right, guys, take care.